Can you
I do hereby swear that the testimony I about to give and my recollection is the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Monsieur, the witnesses of the sins of our life.
This hearing is a joint hearing, and we have the chairman also here, Honorable Snow. We're going to call in there to have the hearings. And we will now do self-introduction. You will introduce yourself, and then we will introduce ourselves.
Good afternoon, Honorable RIA. I'm Thomas Zer Gonkamo, presently the Interim Managing Director and then designated Acting Managing Director for Operations of the Liberia District Corporation. Good afternoon, Honorable RIA. I'm Adam Sharif, Chief Finance Officer of LEC.
Good afternoon, honorable members of the Joint Committee. My name is Gerald H. Mensko. I am the Managing Director of the Liberia Airport Authority.
Good afternoon, Honorable Committee. My name is Jonathan C. Enders. I'm the Deputy Managing Director for Technical Services at the Liberia Airport Authority.
Good afternoon, Honorable. My name is Egon Kuya. I'm the Deputy Managing Director for Operations, Liberia Airport Authority.
Thank you. Police will now introduce ourselves. We'll start from the stranger.
I'm Abraham Dallas Dillon. I'm Senator of Montserrat County. I chair the Committee on Foreign Affairs, Committee on Information, co-chair Maritime, and I am a member of the Joint Committee on Energy.
My name is J. Wilbur Brown, Senator of Maryland County, Chair of Rules Administration, and member of the Transport Committee.
Senator Councilor Joseph Jala, Senior Senator, Lofa County, Chairman Banking Currency, Co-Chair Judiciary. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Senator Johnny Kekbehe, Chair Youth and Sports, co-chair of Hydrocarbon and Energy.
Senator Nyan Toya Jr., Chairman of Modernization, member of the Hydrocarbon and Energy Committee.
Good afternoon, Senator Edwin Snow, and I chair the Committee on Hydrocarbon, Energy, and Environment.
Good afternoon. I'm Senator Sai Joseph, Senator of Montserrat County, and Chairman on the Committee on Transport. Thank you, colleagues. And members of the press, I want to say thank you too for taking all your time to come. You received the communication from the Honorable Liberian Senate, right? And this hearing is, as I stated earlier, comprising of the two joint committee on the hydrocarbon energy and environment, and then also the committee on transport. We are concerned about what happened, and that constitutes the letter that was sent to both of the entities. So we will now, before you take the floor, we will now ask the chairman on the committee on hydrocarbon to make a statement, and then we can commence the hearing.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Chairman. Well, again, I just want to join the Chairman on Transport. We are aware of we follow the news of the quite embarrassing situation at our international airport a few days ago. And the Pro Tem, in her wisdom, even though we are on recess, but due to the national security implication and the image of the country, the Honorable Pro Tem of the Liberian Senate, Senator Yomikana Lawrence, mandated the Joint Committee to take time off our recess and address this very crucial issue. So the committees on hydrocarbon, energy and environment, and the committee on transport, as you know, the airport falls on the transport sector. But the issue is power outage. It has to do with energy. So we are working, we're going to work in synergy to see how best we can address the situation. And we expect the truth and nothing but the truth from you so that we can collectively solve the problem if there are any problems to be solved. Again, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you and thank you, dear colleagues, especially the media, for taking your time off to come and cover this all important hearing. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
So we will start with the managing director of the airport to make a statement. And then if you want any of your deputy directors to also speak to the issue, they can speak. And then from there we go to LEC to make a statement. And then from there we will be interacting with you. Yeah. So thank you. You now have the floor.
Chairman, one second, Chairman. Is the LAA here, meaning RIA?
Yes, Honorable Senator, the RIA is here. As you may know, the RIA manages all airports in the country.
The LCAA?
No LCA is here. It's the LAA here, the Liberia Airport Authority.
Why is the LCAA, which is the authority, the regulatory authority, why are they not here?
Well, I wouldn't know. A letter was sent to me from the chair.
The chairman, the regulatory body, LCAA, which one
We'll take note of that, but based on the instruction from the Pro Tem, directly we send for the LA, and then
LEC. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the chairman on hydro and energy already stated, the Roberts International Airport, under which the Liberia Airport Authority manages, is the gateway to the country. It is the only international airport in the country. And the incident on Sunday, March 30, was a very unfortunate situation. On that day of the incident, I was out of campus. I was far away from the airport when I received a call from a deputy for technical services who has oversight responsibility over the electricity in power generation and stabilization at the airport. But before I ask him to give you the full scenario of the situation, I just wanted to say that prior to the incident day, we had a bird strike. I think it was about 3-4 days, and I had a call. The bird strike, this season now is the bird migration season around the airport. And so we have surrounding communities that keep their waste management and waste all over the place. We too, as an airport, we have our garbage site, and that's where the birds live and feed on it, and then they come on to the air side. The first incident we had was a bird strike that left our habitat and went on to the LEC transformer and blew it up. So we were out of the national grid, and so you know that we have 3 generators that was given to us, donated by us by Abraham Mahatma, that we use as a backup outside the LEC national grid. And so we have been on our national grid, and then until we got in contact with the LEC, immediately I made a call to Mr. Gonokon and told him that we had a bird strike, and then the transformer blew up, so we're operating on our generators. And so he told me to wait, to hold on. He was going to send his team to assess and then come and see if he can replace the transformer. So on that Sunday, honorable senators, we were on our generators because we were isolated from the national grid, the LEC. So we had airlines checking in. To be specific, the Air Cote d'Ivoire was checking in because they were coming in around 2 to leave at 5. I'm told, the TS will explain more on that, I'm told that around 5 o'clock, just about 5, that when we had a situation, and that situation occurred when a team of LEC maintenance crew came to check the system because we were out of the grid. When they came, in the process of doing whatever, closing up the cutoff point on the lines, then there was a surge. There was a feedback to our system. It blew up our voltage regulator, fuses, relays, and whatnot. And so immediately we called them to come. We even called the people who take care of the Caterpillar, because the machines are 3 new machines that we have on backup. And so it's only for the terminal now, because there are a lot of stories in the social media. We were out of current from the terminal building. I want to make this emphatically clear. The runways and other areas were lighted. That is why the SM Brussels, who says that it was impacted, they landed. Why did they land? Because the lights were on the runways, only the terminal building. iSky landed around, the lights went on by 5, and iSky landed at 5:50. There were no current. Luckily for us, it was still daytime, so the passengers could come in, disembark, and then see their luggages, and they left the terminal. In the case with SM Brussels were arriving after 7, and so we knew that it was going to be dark. So and the folks were still working on the electricity. LEC was there. The group that takes care of the Caterpillar Mantrack was there. Our team was there. And everybody hands-on was on board to restore the current. I can tell you, honorable senators, I've been at the airport for 19 years, and this was the first time that we had this technical glitch, and it took us like 6 hours because the surge blew up all our fuses, all our relays. We had some spares that we all put in there, but it was kind of difficult because the electrical people were saying that it took them some time to put that on. And so before SM Brussels landed, we knew prior, I think a day or two before, that they were going to only arrive and not depart because they had some issues in Belgium, that they would not have leave, they were going to sleep overnight. So that was a blessing in disguise for us. So we were concentrating on the arrival because we had lights in the VIP, like I said, in all the facilities. So we planned, we spoke with the SM Brussels people that when the plane lands, they disembark the passenger, we will bus them through the VIP because we had lights, not the presidential lounge, but the VIP lounge. And that the passenger baggage will remain in the aircraft, sealed up, and then the next morning they will come for it. But then they said no, they cannot be sealed in an aircraft, so we took them down, put them in the terminal building. We have our luggage room there, and we seal it and make sure that the securities were there. And then we bust the passengers, and they all went through the VIP lounge. At the VIP lounge, we have immigration, so their passports were checked. We had representatives from the airlines was there. We had the ground handlers who handled baggages and passengers services. We're all in the VIP lounge to see the smooth flow of passengers through the VIP. So as a process did land, it was very, very sad that the passengers had to go through the VIP where it's a little bit smaller and had to get into small congestion with a queue and all of that. But in the end, the following day, as a Brussels passengers came because they were told to come and collect their bags, and we witnessed the passengers collecting their bags. Because on Monday morning, the following morning, we were told that the president had constituted an investigative team headed by the National Security Advisor, Honorable Kofi Woods, who came with his team, a team from Justice, some Board of Inquiry, people from NSA, the Liberia National Police, and all of the law enforcement groups. And they were there. We went through a brief, and then we took them to the site, along with our LEC partners, and they saw the site, they saw the LEC compound. They realized that the transformer did blow up, and then we went and visited the terminal to see that we witnessed passengers coming and taking bags out with no incident. Since then, we've had no incident. We restored the lights by 1 a.m. that morning, because I was there at the time because I had come back to the airport and I stayed along with my team, technical team and crew, and we restored the power at 1 o'clock. And since then, we stay on, power on, all day yesterday. The LEC people were there. They found a transformer, 1,000 volts. I don't know how they got that, but they managed to install it. They did the electrical work, and right now we're on. And there are more work ongoing, I'm told, to ensure that we keep a continuous flow of current. The issue is that the airport is critical. The airport is the front of the country. It is the only international airport we have. So we at the airport, we are committed to maintaining safety, security, and ensuring the satisfaction for passengers, flow, and environment. So we're still committed to making sure that passengers who come through our aerodrome are convenient, and they have the experience, to make sure that they come back, because the business we're in at the airport, besides providing services and facilities to the team, we sell convenience, we leave a lasting impression so that when you fly through our aerodrome, you can always come. So I just want the my technical services deputy to just give you the incident so that you can have a real good view before the LEC person.
Before the technical services director speak, we will ask our two colleagues to please introduce themselves.
All right, I'm Senator Simeon Taylor, Chair of the Senate Committee on Land Mines, Cape Mount, a member of the board.
I'm Senator Jivon Smith from River Says. I chair the Senate Committee on Agriculture, but a member of the Transport Committee.
Colleague, you are welcome. Director?
Thank you, Honorable. So just to buttress what the MD said, I would first like to make it clear that at no time was the aircraft Brussels in danger. They will land safely, and the only issue we had was on the land side of the airport, and it affected the terminal building. Like you said, on the 25th of March, we had an incident with the bird strike, and it affected the feeder line that feeds the airport to from LEC. LEC has been lifesavers to us, so we always try to keep LEC on. When the incident happened on the 25th, we informed them, and we decided right away that while they work on the lines, we will use our own generators for the time being. We were running our generators. They came back on the 26th to do another maintenance work on the line. We did a test, and we still had some issues on the line. So we repaired whatever components that got damaged on the 26th, and then we were running 4 generators. We have 3 brand new Caterpillar generators, like you said, that adds up to almost like 2.5 megawatts of power for the airport. And those 2 generators are used mainly for the land side. We call it the land side because that's where people get free access to, like the terminal building, the VIP terminal, our residents, the restaurants, and other businesses around. Besides that, we have 2 generators that are solely dedicated to the runway lights and the control tower. Each of our nav aids, the equipment that are used by the airplane to land, we have 2 generators. Each shelter has a 20 kVA generators, so we have 40 kVA generators at each site. Besides that, we also have a separate generator at the presidential launch, only for the presidential launch. We have a separate generator for the VIP launch. So that's why when the incident occurred with Brussels Airlines that day, we were able to have power at the VIP launch, and we were able to use it to disembark our passengers. Thank you.
Presentation from the LEC.
Good afternoon again, Honorable. The dates of the incidents reported from my colleagues from the RIA are very much correct. We had an incident with the bird flying onto the transformer feeding only the terminal building. Just to give you an insight, the RIA is a critical load on our system. Considering that fight, there is a substation at RIA. And considering that fight, there is a direct line from the substation straight only for the RIA's facilities. Along that line, we have transformers dedicated to each of the service areas, including the terminal. And so the incident affected the terminal. But because of the configuration, you cannot have half of the place fed by LEC and half fed by the RIA. So they switched on to their generator, and we were in the process of troubleshooting and found out what the main problem is. In the first case, right after the bird, two of what we call the oscillator got blown off. The team immediately went there, restored that, and then they restored power. And then the next day, another one of the oscillators blew off. So immediately we knew that there had to be a father out checked onto the system. And it was during this father out check on the system that we had the incident. And then the check started late in the evening when the airport supervisors called, because actually when you run a generator for a long period, you have to switch on to another generator, another one. So in all of these switching, it was expedient that they also contact the LEC to continue on the work so that they could come back on full. And so it was at this process, both teams working in conjunction, and then we had a 40-minute incident that only affected the switching point at the terminal. All other areas will be fed and have power due to the backup resilience that we have. And immediately the team worked all night and brought and restored power to the entire airport again by 1 o'clock. And then we followed up the investigation. The following day, found out that the transformer actually now was faulty. So immediately we found a replacement, and we have that replacement in place. As of yesterday, by 4 o'clock, the entire terminal is now back on the LEC. And we have had a joint tour, like he rightfully said, with the committee. And we prepared an incident report that was submitted. And we are now preparing a full report to bring the airport to a resilient situations that we need to drive at. No matter what you do, if your network or the system will not have series of backups, and you have issues with that, then you have to find time to resolve that, and that will have a lapse in power disruption. So we have had several presentations on bringing the airport or what are critical facilities that we think will be connected to our network to a resilient situation. To be able to do that, honorable body, will require some immense investment into that. It will require some investment. And so, for our immediate actions, we have restored the airport to its normal situation and is now at full capacity. And like he rightfully said, some of the issues are natural, but we can mitigate it. So the issues of debris and having the birds and the ruins and all in that area will have to be cleaned so that they keep far away from coming into there. Today is a bird, tomorrow might be snake, tomorrow might be a rat, tomorrow might be something. There has to be some actions. When we spoke about it, the first thing is to make sure that those people who have garbages, but are small notice are closer to the airport and those things that we invite these ruins and birds that will cause the issue for us to be able to clear that out. From our side at the LSD, we are also looking at, to have a very resilient system of a network, you should have a feed from 2 different substations. And so we have not expanded to have another substation to be able to have another feed. So what we have done also is to have alternative feeds from the same substation, but it does not meet what we call the instrument on one criteria, but it will be a backup. So we are looking at all of that, working in conjunction to be able to come with an immediate resilient plan that will drive off into the further or future resilient plan. So personally, we can assure you that the airport team and the LEC team are all working together, and we said that we will do everything we can, and we did restore power to the airport, especially to the terminal building, in 6 hours. With all of what we had available, we did everything we could with just what we had available to restore power. So we can assure you that with what we intend doing all of our review we put into place, we will move to another resilience level. But there is a need for us to move to a higher resilient level to avoid such occurrences. I think.
Thank you. One of our coaches who was speaking came in. He will introduce himself.
My name is Nomini Tish Patrick. I represent Grey Crew, member of the school.
Police, you hear from the witnesses, and we will now go ahead to interact with them, and I will ask the Honorable Chair on the Committee on Hydrocarbon to supervise this conversation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. When we were in opposition, every time a situation like what happened at any our RIA happened, we condemn it. Criticize the government. Now we have the gavel in our hands. It's no longer time to whine. It's no longer time to just criticize from our end. We must take responsibility. We must take responsibility of this issue, find a solution, and solve the problem. That's why we have the government as the governing institution. I listened to the explanations here, and I'm a little upset. The first question I want to ask, how was the source of power? What was the source of power at the RIA before the war? Question.
I will say it again. Before the war, the RIA was powered through the National Grid, LEC.
What was the capacity of the National Grid before the war?
Before the war, the capacity of the LEC was 192 megawatts.
What is the capacity of LEC now?
88 megawatts.
88
plus 32, 122. From 192.
Is there a possibility for the government through LEC, through our intervention, to provide an independent source of power at the RIA? Is there a possibility? If there is a possibility, has that vision been thought of?
Yes. That vision has been thought. And I think we were discussing it over and over. There are a lot of documentations have been written. And what we're trying to do again is to summarize the documentation again for presentation under the circumstances. Like I said, to be able to have a resilient situation, we should have what we call an N-1. So that simply means that the generator capacity alone at the airport, right, to be sufficient enough to have 2 spares or 4 spares. In addition to that, the critical areas like the runway lines, they already have generators there, and the other areas, as we ourselves have separate transformers there also.
So, if there is a vision,
yes, sir,
to have the RIA have its own independent source of electricity or power,
yes,
that we do not revisit or experience these things again.
yes.
Where is it?
I think he can, for the airport itself, the technical can tell you all of the documents that they have to make the airport sufficient.
Yeah, Honorable Senator, we have visions for taking care of this problem. Right now, we are talking to solar companies. We have about 2 or 3 companies that have expressed interest in providing us solar farms. As the airport, we have dedicated a specific portion of land just for that purpose, and we are still going through the whole process of having.
What would it cost?
Let me get here.
Initially, when we took over, we made some representations for alternative source of power, which was solar. And in our mind, solar, a 3 megawatt solar farm would have sufficed for backup, in building up a layer of backup for the airport.
What's the cost?
Yes, I'm coming to that. So we presented an holistic cost of $8 million for day and night power at the airport, solar day and night power that will do both the panels.
So did you submit that vision with the costing?
So what we did was, because of the constraints from government, looking at what we...
So did you submit that vision with the costing? If $8 million can solve power problem at the airport.
We submitted to the Ministry of Finance to create a debt management committee wherein the airport was going to, through our own initiative.
Did you submit that to the legislature, to the Senate, for our consideration?
For consideration, the Senate Committee on Transport has an holistic document that includes power and navigational aids for the airport. Yes, we have submitted something to the...
When was that submitted?
That was submitted last year.
Last year?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll proceed from there. For me, I'm not here to make speeches today. I want to find solution. The speeches have been beautiful too much. Sometimes fiery and nothing comes of it. Let's find solution. My second concern, I'm not a technical question, I'm a bit ignorant, but I will ask a question. There's a provision in your technical field where you're using generator and LEC together. There is a device that can trigger to put the generator off immediately when LEC is off, or put LEC on immediately when the generator, one of the two, correct? How do they call that?
It's called automatic transfer switch.
And it's called the automatic transfer switch.
Yes, sir.
Good. Do you have it at RIA?
Yes, we do.
Why did the current go off when LEC went off?
That was the device that got affected from the incident with the transformer.
So the device are supposed to switch current, that the device has intent of having another ATS?
Yes, we do know that. And beside the ATS, it's a process that we've been doing. We just installed our ATS about 3 months ago. So right now the terminal building was doing 5 seconds when LEC goes, 5 seconds our generators they go on.
So you have a new ATS already?
No, we were able to repair the one that got damaged. We got that repaired last night.
Are you finding a new ATS?
Yes, we are.
Already?
Yes, we are.
How long is it going to take you?
The last one we ordered, it took us about 6 months to get it in the country.
6 months?
For 8 million too?
No. It's not up to $1 million.
How much for that?
Procuring it and having it here, it costs about $60,000.
60,000.
Yes.
Is it manufactured specially or is in the store?
No, it's not in the store.
It's in a warehouse?
No, we have to put in our spec and they build it and send it over to us.
So it's going to take 6 months.
Yes,
So
manufacturing.
when you got that, did you not consider putting in for another one for any incidental, like the one we just experienced? That's what we call vision, that's what we call proactive leadership.
Honorable, that's what I'm saying. It's just your process. We already procured the first one, we had it installed. We are already in the process of getting another one. This incident was.
Because all these lecture and things will carry on nowhere. It's time for action. Last year, 2024, what was the budget for RIA, for LAA? Other year, the managing director, the budget for the LAA, including which managers
We're not in the national budget. We want to be supported based on special projects. We're not in the national budget.
On page 448 of the national budget, 2025, which carries information on 2024, we have 2024 budget of $3.3 million for that. But you say you're not in the budget.
Yeah, it's a special project. If you look at a special project, we're not fixed in the national project. It's only based on special project, and that was based on a request that we made for.
So the special project also included your compensation of employees.
No, that is
because we gave $3 million. We gave $3 million for that special project for the first year 2024, so that by 2025 we can do additional incremental. But in the budget here, out of the $3 million, you got $500,000 for compensation of employees. So it cannot be special project.
Honorable, let me speak to that. So under the LAA, we have the Domestic Airport Authority, which is Springs and all the local airports. That one is covered under the national budget. So that money in there, it doesn't come to LAA. It doesn't come to RIA. That money goes to take care of salary of Springs and all the local airports. It doesn't come to us.
Who do you pay, or what do you describe as subsidy? Who you pay subsidy to?
I don't have to. Sorry, I don't have.
Our finance people can.
The budget is before me.
Yeah.
Out of the 3.3 million, you got subsidy for 400,000. Subsidy for what? To whom?
Based on the interpretation of that budget, I think our finance people will speak more to that. But what it
you didn't come with your finance people?
No, sir.
Don't you think I waste your time here? We told you to come here with everything that requires all having an understanding of what's happening so we can find solution. Now we gotta wait for your finance people for another time.
So I believe if there's something in there for subsidy, it has to be for strict salary compensation. That's what we receive.
Salary compensation of employees is $500,000, 500,000, close to 600,000. Subsidy is 400,000. So salary and compensation is already provided for.
So
then what's the subsidy?
I cannot interpret the 400,000 subsidy.
Non-financial asset, $2 million. What is it about?
I think that covered the AAIB.
I don't want anybody to think. I want somebody you want to oath. I want direct answer and factual answer so we can solve this problem.
Like my colleague said, I'm sorry. The subsidy portion.
You know, the president I announced suspension of you people or firing, you won't be laughing here. We are on break. We return from break primarily because of this. So our police came from other counties. And we're asking you, you're laughing. I'm sure if you were in a meeting with the president, you wouldn't be laughing. Answer the question.
I was saying,
Senator, that the subsidy has to do with Springs. not only Springs, but like you said, the domestic airports. We have 9 serviceable domestic airports in the country.
So there's compensation of employees for RIA?
No.
It's not for RIA, it's for Springs and the other.
Subsidy there for what again? Because it says subsidy for employees at Springs or
Yeah, that's for salary. The subsidies
It's not for salary. There are other works that they do in the counties. They got groups that clean up the airstrips and do other work. So maybe that's how the
subsidy. You don't have maintenance department to clean up?
For RIA we do, for Springs we do, for the other airstrips there's just the skeletal staff there, maybe 5-7 persons per airstrip, and they seek assistance or they do contracts for people.
This year we gave 3.4 million. This year, the budget right before we approved. 3.4. I know we are concluding the first quarter of this year. How much have you received so far for this year?
Honorable, like 0.
0?
No. 0.
Out of 3 million?
0.
We are in April.
0.
The RIA or LLA have received 0.
0.
So last year, uptime was 2.6 million.
So you received 2.6
You
million?
received 2.6 million last year.
No.
This is the fiscal uptime sent to us printed. Hello? Fiscal uptime, I'm sure you know that you say you have not received 2 million?
This year? No.
No, I'm talking about the fiscal uptime for 2024. You honor all?
Last year, you know, you just said something, and let me reiterate. This year may look funny to you all, but it's not funny. They said that they don't just say we're all on recess. I had a flight this morning. I was stopped by the program from traveling for this year. Everybody here on recess. Put an emergency message for everybody to hear. LDC is here with the financial man. You have the problem, you know everything else, but when the senator asks you specific question, then you say the financial man not here. But you show that you didn't receive X amount, but when we ask certain questions, you say financial man not here. So tell your scope, what you know financially and what you know financially, to say the men are here in some cases you can answer it directly. This is a serious hearing, and we either take it seriously or we call the hearing off.
I'll follow up to that.
Yeah, you want follow up to?
Yeah.
We're not coming here hearing off.
It's in one.
And something will have to be done today. They must tell how much.
In answering Senator Dillon's question and that of Senator Snow, I will also want you to state here clearly, the budget line is under your authority. Who does the request to Ministry of Finance?
So
because you say you haven't received anything. So how is it that an outturn is in the excess of $2.something million and you have not requested any money?
Correct. So to answer the question of what we received last year, to our knowledge, we received 1.6 million. We have critical items on our listing to the Ministry of Finance on the immediate things that we needed to do. Those immediate things has to do with our upgrading our fire category, having additional fire trucks to upgrade our fire category, and to upgrade our safety and security, which is our navigational aids. For the aids of navigation, we apportioned $1 million from the $1.6 million to that project, and $600,000 to the fire truck. That gave us the $1 million deposit that we made on the navigational aid and the airport authority from our own negotiations, added additional $1 million to the $1 million we gave for the navigational aid. So we have $2 million for NAF is that prompted the process of manufacturing for us to be for us to have the process done in time with contract. So to answer your question, we received last year from the request that we made of 7 million, we received 1.6 million, and that's how that 1.6 million was apportioned. 1.6 million was even given to us in Liberian dollars, and we had to do the FX, and then we were able to pay the vendors.
So the 600,000 was for a single truck, fire truck?
Yes, but it was a payment of $1,040,000. That's the part. Correct.
That was 600,000 there for a fire truck.
Yes.
So one fire truck.
It was a King's.
600,000. Is that what you're saying?
The fire truck is more than 600,000, sir. It's $1,040,000. That's the cost.
The budget carried 3.3 million on actual budget of upturn. Fiscal upturn. Estimated upturn was 2.6. And you say you received only 1.6.
Yes, that can be verified, sir. It can be verified. We received 1.6 million.
And since 2025, the LAA has not received a dime of the 3.3 for 2025.
Of the 3.3, 2.2 was approved and we have not received it.
When my 2.2 was approved?
Yes, they sent us a team of project coordinators from the Ministry of Finance. We did a project review on the money that was spent, that was giving us the 1.6, and then we did a justification. They went back and presented the justification. Based on the justification, we were approved additional 2.2, but we haven't received that yet.
Foreign Minister sent you communication that in your budget for 2025, LAA, you got 2 million? Is that what you're suggesting to me?
They sent us a project team,
yes,
to verify monies that were received last year, yes, 2024, the 1.6 million. They did the verification, they did the audit, and they presented to the Ministry of Finance. Based on what they presented, the Ministry of Finance approved 2.2 of what we requested, the the excess of 3 point something that was there. So that 2.2 is still within the processing of the Ministry of Finance. We haven't received it.
Senator, can I make a follow-up on specifically the question the Senator asked? Are you speaking on behalf of the LAA or RIA?
I'm with the LAA, sir.
The LAA and the RIA, they have separate budget, or the RIA budget is under the LAA?
It's consolidated. It's one budget.
And a follow-up to that, Senator, something coming up. Where is the managing director for the RIA? Because if I'm getting something right, you from the LAA, you regulate the airports, and the RIA that has the problem has a managing director. Am I correct?
No.
It has a management.
It has a port manager. It's just for operational purpose. Everything else is managed by the airport authority.
RIA as an institution, you are for all the airports.
Correct.
Who manages RIA?
The port manager.
Who is the port manager? Where is he?
The port manager is my principal deputy, so I'm here to represent.
Also, you are the manager.
I'm the deputy manager for operations.
Where is the RIA managing director?
Honorable, just to make something clear, the way the structure of the airport authority is the port manager of each airport, like for Spragues and RIA, they only run operations. Operations mean aircraft operations, like the passengers that come, how they handle them through. They run the operations of the airport.
Sir, 1 minute, please.
Yeah.
1 minute, please. James Mobile was appointed.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
As what?
The port manager for RIA.
Who is the managing director or manager of the RIA?
I don't know. There is no managing director for the RIA.
Okay.
there was a letter that was given to James K. Morma stating that he will be appointed as managing director of the RIA, and that was an error. The good manager was promoted by me.
Who appointed James Morma?
I appointed James Morma as put manager for the RIA.
Not the executive mansion?
Not the executive mansion. Not the executive mansion. Okay. I appointed James Morma.
So they put the managing director or manager of RIA works on LA.
Yes. Yes, and reports to the deputy for technical services, operations. But Honorable Senator, let me say this. The act was the way it was written in previous time. I know that for a fact that the former DG at the time, peace be to his ashes, Archie, had a group he wanted to have total control, and so they sat down and wrote the act. And you read my act, the LA Act, the LCA is mentioned 97 times in that act. And that act says to me that the managing director will have oversight over all airports, and LAA will serve as a service provider. Let's underscore that, because that is why I, as managing director, I run all the airports. I manage all the airports in Liberia.
LAA is supposed to be a service provider.
It's by the act. So it's a law.
How are you running the airport when you're supposed to be service provider?
So all airports have put managers that report to the deputy managing director for operations. They are there for operational purposes. Yeah, and then I get the report from my operations, deputy operations. So that's it.
If you don't provide money for the airport, the director doesn't have it.
No. Yeah, no, we have this about.
So you are the proper authority to deal with it.
I'm the proper authority for the RIA.
Inquiry. Let me be a little practical here. So in 2023 September, what was the role of John Morva and what was the role of Martin Hayes as compared to today?
Mr. Morva was not with the airport in 2023 before the transition.
Left.
Yes.
No, we're talking about George.
George Morva for LCA. George Morva was Director General of the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority. It was they are the regulators. Honorable Senator, I was the port manager for RIA.
Mr. Okay. On February 28, 2024, the President of Liberia, Joseph Newman Boaka, among the nominees, people appointed and nominated, on February 28, 2024, the President nominated James K. Morva as General Manager, the RIA. And you say you appointed him?
Honorable Senator, the port manager for all of the airports are not presidential appointees.
On February 28th, the President of Liberia appointed Joseph Morva as General Manager of the RIA. Your appointment or the President's appointment?
No.
When did you appoint Joseph Morva? When did you appoint Joseph Morva?
I appointed Joseph and James Morva, I think about a month after that letter came up. A month or so.
So your letter supersedes the President's?
Because from the office of the President, the statement I was an error.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted that clear.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, let's come to the navigational errors and the wrongdoing. And it is not to cushion the situation.
To disembark the passengers because we never had light in the terminal. It was only the land side that was affected, so they could not use the terminal. And just to buttress what I'm trying to say, before then, ASCAR landed. When ASCAR landed, they landed around 5:50. It was still daylight, and we were still working on the system at the time. So
do you need a navigational system?
No, the generator that supplies the terminal.
No, you didn't get my question.
Yeah.
What are you in the night or not?
Yeah.
Broad day or not? When do you need a navigational system? I'm deliberately asking you questions.
As long as the pilot is landing an aircraft, he needs a navigation
Whether
system.
in the day or in
Whether
the
in
night.
the day or in the night.
So in the day,
Yes.
if the navigational system is down, no aircraft can land.
It's depending on the pilot's decision. If the navigators are off during the day, they are informed. In the cockpit of the aircraft, they have monitors. They will see that it is off, and the control tower will also inform them. If it's off, it's a description of the pilot. If he feels that he can land the aircraft, he goes ahead and does that.
Same thing in the night?
No, in the night, no. In the night, no. If the lights are off, no navigational is no.
Okay, so I can turn over to my colleagues. Are we going to revisit this matter again?
No.
Absolutely not.
What's the guarantee? So today is April 2, 2025. Thankfully, we don't having this hearing yesterday, which was April 1. Today is April 2, 2025. You are on a court before this joint committee. Are we going to revisit this nightmare again?
Honorable, I can guarantee you, since Sunday, I haven't slept. We working with LEC, we working with our counterparts. We already have mitigation in place. As of Monday morning, 1 a.m., we restore power back to the terminal building.
So we'll not revisit this again?
Yes, I can guarantee
From
you.
a professional standpoint, everything?
Yes.
Should we revisit it? What happens?
Well, to revisit it,
should be fired.
Yes, yes.
I want to hear the response from others.
For me, being technical managing director for technical services, if it happens under my watch again, I will resign.
When you don't have the money to put in the system, you want
no. What happened in that honorable? There's a long term plan. But right now, for the facilities we have machines in place and things that we can put in place to guarantee that this doesn't happen for now. In the long run, 5-6 years down the road, there are other things we can do. But for right now, for that to happen, no. We got equipment, we got generators in place, we got things in place that we can put in place now to solve that problem.
My question goes to each of you.
Yeah, but just to buttress on what he said, the airport has more than what we need when it comes to power. But the issue that we experienced was not because there's a lack of power at the airport. It was a mechanical or electrical fault or a glitch. The power we have power to the airport more than we need. And our backup layers are in place for full-time operations. So this was purely an unfortunate situation that we know we have mitigated and cannot go through that process.
My question was deliberate, pointed.
With the right support, after giving this incident is an eye opener for you all to see the issues we have.
We were seeing it before and then criticizing them when we were in opposition. Now we have the gavel of governance. It's not time to just criticize, it's time to find solution to this matter.
With this mindset, we believe that we will galvanize the kind of support that we need to be able to mitigate this situation for long-term solutions.
Mr. Ellison, Managing Director, acting.
Yes, sir.
Has Ellison solved that problem? Whether it's transmitter or transformer. Has Ellison solved that problem from the Ellison perspective? Partner?
Yeah.
How do we reach the whole and for good?
And like I said earlier, that for us to have a resilient network and a resilient system,
there has to be some capital investment into the system. And like I said to you, we already have a dedicated line directly to the airport. And to be able to have another resilient line, we need another substation. So that if anything happens to this substation, we have that. In addition to adequacy of energy, we are already now developing a solar 20 megawatts at Shawfree, which will go into the network and go to the RIA support as an additional volume of energy. So like I'm saying to you, we are—
How long will it take?
How long?
Yes.
That solar plan for next year on a stack check will be available next year.
So,
is it different from the 8 million they need?
Yes.
The airport they get more current than they need, but they need 8 million for more current, and you bring some more current.
You have to have redundancy. So the point I'm telling you is that if you look at the airport configuration of the networks and everything in there, if you look at the switch gear in there, we have, like the referee said to you, there is one automatic transfer switch. But if you reconfigure that switch gear, you can have a bypass or an additional automatic transfer switch and all of that. So all of these configurations will require some investment. And so we are saying to you that we, as a unit, are doing everything we can to work along with the airport authority to come up with that resilient network and that resilient.
You use resilient 63 times already.
So, if I tell you 2 minutes technical, you say, okay, then let me tell you.
Yeah, you use the word resilient about 63 times.
Correct, it is.
Costing to that resilience so it can be resilient forever.
Like we said, that we want to submit that cost to you, right, in the shortest possible time.
That's the problem I have with you. You've been at NEC for 27 years. You've been at NEC for 27 years. The gentleman, Mesco, has been at that airport almost from the time he was a young man. He's been managing director of that place or head of that place. We for the last 2 years or so, and we're asking for plan, and if it would be where's the plan, what's the costing, or so we can know.
You see, if you look at the airport network, the network right now, right? LC is at the airport right now. So what we are looking at is the internal.
What's the accident unit room? Liberia, the aircraft accident investigation bureau. What is it about? Aircraft accident investigation bureau. What is it about?
They're established to investigate accidents and incidents, serious incidents within the area realm or surroundings in the country. So, for accident investigation or incident, near misses or whatever that.
Have we had any incident of such? Yeah, a lot of
We have incidents, we've had incidents, but serious incidents, no. So that is why.
When the last time we had an incident for this bureau, though?
Oh, I think it was Air Morocco when they had the excursion on the runway, landed and skated on the runway and came back on the apron and park. Yes.
You know the budget we give, you know how much we give them in the budget?
For 2025.
For 2025, yeah.
No, I don't know.
So the bureau is on which institution?
It should be independent of, because it's in the setting up stage, under the Ministry of Transport, so to speak.
Lucia, 500,000 for this bureau. 500,000 is in the budget for this bureau.
Thank you. I heard all of you explaining a lot, beautiful speeches, but we all have problems at the airport. You told us here clearly that you regulate everything at the airport. The DG at the airport cannot work without your idea. Should we say that the incident that occurred because of poor management?
No.
Or that you didn't put the right person there to manage your activities?
No, Senator. We just told you that was a technical glitch that occurred. The burst track hit the transformer, and when the LEC people came to do the troubleshooting, there was a surge. So it's not about the administration not being able to run the day-to-day affairs of the airport. It was a technical glitch. And the ambulance go off also.
During your explanation, you said the rain, right, was the cause of the rain. I call it the instrument used to switch from LEC. You said it was please. You said that was the exact cause why we went on a current. And then now you're telling me the transformer. Which one was the major problem?
Yeah, Honorable, for clarification, the issue was with the transformer and it affected the automatic transfer switch. So it's like you go to plug your generator, it blow your double throw switch off, and it blow your TV off, it blow your radio off. That's what happened to us.
So LEC system caused the problem.
It was while maintenance was going on the LEC system.
Why did not bring because we are investigating.
Sure.
We must need to know as to whether you are treating the manager of that airport rightly or you are treating him bad. Because the president asked for investigation, or the president asked for investigation. So we needed to talk to him to see as to why you are not giving the right support. Because perhaps he may have informed you that he needs some items at the airport to manage the airport, and you are not giving it. So all those things are very key and important. When we call here to investigate, we are not joking. I have to leave from Cape Town this morning. My honorable chairman said we should come for this investigation. And at least you told us you have to solve the problem. The RIA telling us that they have enough electricity, very enough. And you are to provide electricity. If they have enough, why are you bothering them?
I don't think.
And you need $8 million to form a solar system when you have another one already.
No, I don't think we are valuing them. I think we are working in a core of providing adequate supply and adequate objective to the airport. So I don't think we are valuing them. I think what we provided from them is a reliable and affordable energy. And it indicates to them that when they are on LEC, their costs and the quality of power is very good. So we are not valuing them. We are providing a service to them. We are prepared to provide our service.
So in other words, you are telling us that the information given us by them is not correct. Am I right?
No. No, they are giving independent information, which is from their side.
But it is not reliable.
How would I say? I can.
They are telling us to just bring this. They are telling us that they have more than enough electricity, but they need $8 million to build a solar plant. But they have more electricity. Then you are also telling us that you want to build another solar plant to supply the RIA. So which one?
When you look at energy sources, you are looking at cost versus cost. If you look at producing energy for thermal plants, it is costly. When you're looking at having alternative energy sources, it's recommended. So having alternative energy sources
it's not anything wrong. The energy that they are talking about today that they have, the capacity that it has is thermal, which is generators and fuel. And we all are talking about being efficient. So we are all looking at efficient energy sources. So if we have that efficient energy sources and we have a backup also by thermal, then it puts us into a better position. So it's not that when you have adequate energy sources from thermal, you don't look to what alternative sources to reduce your cost to make it more efficient. So we all are looking at an efficient system. So in both ways, it's fine. If we have those that will, that's good. But I cannot say that their move to be efficient is wrong, and our move to be efficient is wrong. Our move to be efficient and be reliable and affordable. So we'll use any energy sources, thermal, hydro, solar, wind, mix is needed.
So this will be my last question. Who's going to provide the resources for the solar plant you want to build?
Currently, we are having discussions through the IFC, so with the help of the World Bank. We are having discussions with SCATEC. The board is actually reviewing it currently, and once they pass the resolution, we are going to have them bring what they call containerized solar system. That's why we believe that it will be coming this dry season. Like my IND stated, we are always looking for alternative, cheaper sources of energy. And if I was drawing anything from what my colleagues were saying, what my interpretation was that.
Just want to go straight to the question. Who's going to provide the resources for the technical solar plant you want to build? Because if I heard you right, you said you are having discussions, so it's not even reliable. Why did the discussion turn you down that you said they won't do it?
No, so
you gave us time that we have that facility at sometime this year.
Yeah, Honorable, we are at a very high stage right now. It's going to be a lease agreement with LEC and a private company. So they are going to bring a solar system and we're going to lease the energy for a period of time, and after like 15 years, they're going to turn it over to LEC. So it's a lease agreement with them. So LEC will be responsible. LEC is like buying the energy to put on our cheaper energy to put on our network to drive down the total cost of our generation.
Thank you ever so much, Chair. MD, I want to find out from you the precise date that the incident took place at RIA. The transformer below RIA. On Sunday, March 30th, 20. Okay. Yeah, March 25th. March 25th, yeah, correct. When the LEC came to the rescue, they arrived, we called immediately, they came the same day. They came the same day. Yeah. Okay. You worked at the airport for all years, right? And if I should get you right from your explanation, the operation, he said there was 3 generators given to the airport. Am I right? Correct. And he said that 2 is assigned to the mirror, to the terminal. Am I correct? Correct. 1 is assigned to the new building. Am I correct? One generator is assigned to the buildings. Where you trying to go outside the terminal?
No. Let me I can clarify that to you. What I said previously, that's why I was saying that we have more than enough power that we need. At each, the way the LEC MD said, the whole system we're trying to build is a resilient system. So like for 1 hour navigational aids, we have 2 generators on site. So just in case that one goes off, the other one can be turned on. And even in the equipment itself, we have batteries in it that can keep the equipment on for at least 1-2 hours. So
you don't say you're going to dodge this.
Okay.
You got 10 generators.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you got power shortage for LEC.
Yes.
From the main transformer.
Yes.
What is your source land to the entire facility for that 10 generators?
So that's what I'm trying to explain. All of the 10 generators, they are different locations. For the terminal building that got affected from the incident on the 30th, we have 3 generators there. And those 3 generators are connected to the automatic transfer switch. So the way the system was set up is LEC is our main source of power. If LEC goes off within 5 seconds, the generators will kick on. One kicks on, depending on the load. If the first one kicks on and the load is more, the second one adds up to build up the system. The third one sits back and waits.
So look, like they don't say we're trying to look for problem. Don't think I'm trying to get at you.
No problem.
Okay? Because what I don't know, the 3 generator stations at that point should serve 3 different circuits. One, like you can, like I come in. 1, 2, 3 for power out. If you should have problem like you said, the ATS has issue. Or then you tell us all 3 generators using that one ATS.
Yes, that's how the system was synchronized.
So you synchronize the system?
Yes, that's how you synchronize.
So you got serious problems.
So after the incident on Sunday, that's how we're able to get power up that night.
So LEC passes through that single system, generator the same single system.
So it's 2 different phase coming in to meet the automatic transfer switch because of the amount of load we got at the terminal building. The terminal building has the highest amount of load at the airport. So with those 3 generators, we can serve the terminal building correctly.
Wow. Okay, are you?
Thank you. Mr. Managing Director, why should you keep your job? Why do you think this Senate committee, this joint committee, should in any way sit here and have a hearing with you and you still keep your job after this disaster? And the premise of my question should continue so that you can be in the right frame of mind to understand. The LCAA has been doing very well in negotiating airlines to come to Liberia. Part of the reasons why we have not seen airlines like KLM and other big airlines coming has to do with the poor infrastructure at the RIA. We are still undergoing infrastructure scrutiny, logistical scrutiny, and security scrutiny. I will be the first to advocate that yes, there's a bigger problem of finances or financing towards the airport. But with all that you have explained here, before I can even start with the technical questioning, why do you think you should keep your job?
Thank you, Honorable Senator. Let me start out by saying that we inherited a very low F system. Like the Honorable Senator Taylor said, I've been around the airport for so long now. And over the past 12 years, nothing really happened at the airport. Seriously, I mean serious. Because people who headed the airport, nothing really substantive.
In other words, there's 12-year unity party, the 6-year unity party, and the 6-year CDC, nothing happening.
If substantive honorables know, substantively, you see, the aviation business.
When you mean substantive, what does that mean? Chief.
I'm talking
you
about.
Say last 12
I'm
years.
talking about.
One minute. Say last 12 years, nothing happened to the airport. So the 6th-year honor Manaseli and Vice President Boykai, and the 6th-year honor Joe and Joao Taylor, nothing happened to the airport. That's what you're trying to say?
Let me clarify.
Okay.
Disaster or let me clarify. Not that accidents or incidents. Honorable senators, in 2022, we had a USOP audit. The USOP audit is the Universal Safety Oversight Audit. In our business, we are obligated from RKO through the LCAA to meet minimum standards. We have what we call standards and recommended practices. We call them SARPs. The airport, RIA, is an international airport. That airport can be shut down by ACAO without national government involvement. If they find out that that airport does not meet safety and security requirements, ACAO can shut the airport down. Okay? And over the years, we have been having very low scores. In 2022, instead, the passing score for the USOP is 75. We made 27. Meaning, over the years, Honorable Snow, we haven't been training people to have certified, qualified people. We haven't been meeting our equipment, screening machines, escalators, whatever. So when we took over, firstly, in fact, before we took over, the Liberia, because in the airport business it has to do with the state. Even if you say RIA, they will say the state of Liberia.
Mr. Madina, you wait. I'm questioning you here. Sorry. And I use my time to ask you more. I ask you a direct question. You were given an opportunity by the two chairpersons to give your opening statement. You should have taken us from where you met the airport to where you've taken it. You will not use my questioning time for all that narrative. My question to you, why do you have to keep your job after this disaster? Given the fact that we're already going on the kind of pariah state of the airport with all that you need, instead of scoring 75, which is the bare minimum, we got 27. Why should you keep your job when there's no electricity for somebody to land? Especially an international one that may force about everything.
Honorable Senator, I can say that I am the best fit in the country when it comes to airport operations and management. I've been in the business 40 years. I flew airplanes for Air Liberia, for the country. I served as Assistant Minister at the Ministry of Transport. It was under my pen that we took the CAA, the regulatory body, out of the political framework of the Ministry of Transport. Because in 2002 or 3, I represented Liberia to the General Assembly Alcao in Montreal, and I made a presentation for technical cooperation.
You haven't told me why should you keep your job on a simple matter? Answer my question. Why should you keep your job?
I'm saying that my first statement was that because I'm qualified. Okay. Yeah, I'm the best fit in the country.
You know, Mr. MD, where you taking me? It reminds me of in 2001. What was the airline that used to fly between here and Nigeria during Obasanjo time? You crashed and killed 125 people. And then they went for the hearing, the meeting with the president. The managing director stood up. That's exactly what you say. Oh, Mr. President, you know, when we check, if you think we are checked, then we'll come back, we'll check again. And before we fly, then we'll check again. And then somebody will come and check, what will check again? The president told him, sit down. If you are checked that much, we will not have 125 dead bodies. If you were that so meticulously the best, there would have been system in place to avert what just happened. Electricity was off for more than 9 hours. You people talking about the automatic switch system. You know, for people in the gathering, in the public, I know they think that's some kind of big thing we're talking about. I have automatic switch at my house between my generator and my solar. If that automatic switch has a problem from the generator, it takes the mechanic or the electrician less than an hour for a direct connection from the solar to the house. You can nod your head all you want. How come the automatic switch, let's assume LEC failed? Okay, then get on your generator and do a direct connection and move on. But electricity was off for more than 9 hours, and you want to convince me that the only reason why you can keep your job is because you invest in the country? I'm not buying that. I need further explanation as to why this problem was not solved in the interim. And man, you always keep my premise in your mind. We are struggling to bring airlines here. This is a national disaster. The images out there with people with phone lights, it didn't go down well. How will KLM and all the big airlines or other airlines be encouraged to come here? And for the matter of fact, let's be honest with you, you've been in the airline industry. Liberia is one of the countries where to travel to and from is very costly. And these are the reasons why the ordinary citizens are bearing the cost of it. And in answering this question, please tell me if there is a comprehensive airport development plan that you have so that we can make the airport an internationally acceptable airport to be scoring not only the bare minimum of 75, but 80 and 90. And if you have, where is that plan? But don't, you should go back to my previous question again about keeping your job. Why?
Senator, where we are right now, since my ascendancy to the MD's position, I've engaged the Airport Council International. I'm a member of the club. They are the ones who speak for airports, like ACAO is for the CAA. And it is that group that I'm working with now to develop a comprehensive roadmap so that we can roll out and pass the schools and get aerodrome certification. I've already applied for that. So, like I say, in this business, it's about collaboration, cooperation with the other stakeholders. And so, in the not too distant future, maybe in the next 3-4 months, I will be submitting to the Transport Committee the roadmap for the plan. Yes, so that we can move the airport to the next level.
So as it stands, you don't have an airport development plan. You don't have a plan for upgrade right now. You don't have one.
We do, Honorable.
Okay, and where is that plan? And how was the plan derived? Did you go to the
Senator?
Yeah.
In 2003, the World Bank funded the airport master plan, the plan, our vision, our aspirations. I have that plan. We're in the process of updating that plan. In fact, of doing our airport development plan. 2006 rather, we did the master plan. 2013, there was an upgrade to that plan. I have all of those documents, and it is our Bible. But
that is a comprehensive airport development here in 2 years. Have you have it?
Is it 2003? Yes,
we've developed our strategic plan, and we have that, and that's why we're working on involve all of our SWOT and everything.
Where is it? Where is that plan?
At the
we can tell them, look, you people are part of the problem of the airport. This is what these people are. It's beautiful. Let's support it. And they cannot, if they cannot do it, we will put the money in the budget here and defend it and follow it to the latter. But if I cannot see a strategic plan from you, a 1-year plan from you, and by right, to legitimize such a plan, you should have a whole cabinet approval. You sit with the president, you derive a national plan for the airport, you break it down by year,
the president approves it, you do a cabinet presentation, cabinet gives you that blessing, you call legislative committees on all of the relevant committees in both houses, you sit and discuss the plan, you legitimize it, it becomes a national plan. Then, to a non-budgetary, cost to it, it cannot be, anything difficult for anybody. But you seem to not have one, and then you bring in about your longevity of CV and what have you. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. And this is the root of the problem. We can sit there with blame, technical glitches and what have you. That's the root of the problem. And with that, I will have no further questions from you, and let the record show that I'm not impressed for your lack of a comprehensive plan that is national enough, that have met the executive approval, that the legislative committees relevant to the airport don't have it, and it takes me to LEC. Talk to me about the technical plan. That's the last question I want to talk about. Why is it that within hours we could not restore electricity from the generator directly to the building? We want 18 hours got to our houses. I got one. I built it right in Eagle. It's an automatic switch. It just takes current from one power source to your house. So if my generator messed up, I'm just going to remove it and tell the electrician, put my solar directly to my house. And you're making it look like some kind of big deal. We're out of current for 9 hours.
I think there are two components to the supply of electricity to the airport. The components you are referring to and all of the activities there is directed to the airport. So all the activities there, we provided support to the airport. The direct connections you're talking about, all of those took few hours. There were other issues, right, that we have to get in. The Liberia equipment that has to go in there. There were other configurations. All of those are internal operations of the airport. LEC doesn't get into those internal operations and all of that.
As a technician,
yes,
how do you create all those combinations of connections you're talking about? Are they? Is there a risk factor involved?
It is.
See?
It is. I'm estimating you that.
But you are on oath. You don't have to admit. You must admit.
Yes, sir. So like you said that I think referee said that when I use the word resilient, I use it more than 50 times. And I was referring to all of these in the internal configuration of the airport connections need to be considered. If we have, when you're talking about,
I want you to put it directly.
Yes.
It is messy now. It is a disaster. It is a risk. It is a disaster waiting to happen. It will even burn the airport. Say
so
it's bad.
So we need to look at that and do a risk management and see all of that and mitigate all of the risks. And the risks we're talking about is just not one. So there has to be a complete risk analysis into all of that. I mean, the airport, the director clearly stated manpower, training, and all of that. We have to look at all of these things here and put action plans in the place to resolve this.
When you look at it,
it's not that I keep saying it here that look, there are two components to the supply to the airport. What we are speaking of here directly is the internal connection around the airport. We LEC don't get involved into direct internal or internal connection. We will come as a technician, we share, we compare, we assist. So I keep saying we are all working together, but in resolving these issues, we must be real.
Mr. Bunga, I want to reclaim my time to end. Mr. Chairman and co-chair, I will close with my questioning that even though we're meeting in committee room, but let the record show you this hearing that the lack of a proper plan, a comprehensive plan by the airport authority to actually improve, not develop. They will have a bigger development plan far back, but a year-by-year improvement of the airport, targeting specific areas where we should improve. I think the record should show that it's a disaster, and followed by the admittance of the LEC that the technical electricity connection there is also a mess. And let the record show that these two things will be taken carefully in our reports in helping the airport to improve.
The
Pablo Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll not be that long because most of the field has been covered already. But let me start with the LEC interim head. I heard him say that there was some incident report. Is this a joint in this incident report, or this incident report is specific for LEC? I mean, after the incident, you said there was some incident report. The incident report from my end is specifically for LEC. Let me ask the LA people, has there been any incident report since this incident?
Yes, we produced an incident report immediately. I requested it and I have a copy with me.
Okay, we need 2 copies, but can both of you summarize for this hearing what are the main findings of the incident report? What are your recommendations? I don't want to, you just the key ones.
Let's start with LEC. What are the key findings?
The key findings of our incident report is that 1, we have a natural disaster caused by a bird.
Say that again. I didn't begin.
I said the key finding is that we have a natural disaster caused by a bird. Yes.
Natural.
Okay. Caused by a bird that led to creating a fault on the transformer, and subsequently led to a cascading fault into the automatic transfer switch at the airport. For our recommendations is that the internal configuration of the supply around the automatic transfer switch should be reviewed. There should be alternatives. There should be bypass connections such that if any of this will happen, you can just switch over to the bypass and do the repair. In addition to that, we, from our end at the LEC, we will be putting in also a standby transformer, which will also be connected to our bypass positions and to provide alternative if any of these things happen.
Thank you.
For us, one of our key recommendations would be the findings first was one of our key findings was inadequate equipment in place at the time to deal with such situation.
Which source is the situation?
The electrical source that
both incidents.
Yes.
The incident of the 25th.
Yes.
The bird strike.
The bird strike. Yes.
Okay. Then before you come to
the electrical. So the findings there. One of the things we decided to do is one of the findings was we first did investigation to find out about the amount of birds around there. We know there's a peak bird season, and we found out that there were a lot of dump sites opening around the airport. One of our mitigation strategy for that, we have decided to clear them up, do some burning if possible, and then we decided to see if we could hire another company that will be able to pull, especially the airport trash, to take them from there somewhere else for dumping.
So we believe the
bird strike was a natural something, or was a management failure to remove that?
No, it was a natural something. It was natural. We can control the birds.
No. I listened to the MD.
Yes.
Introductions.
Yeah.
You said the birds are feeding from the dump sites.
Yes, in the community.
How long has the dump sites been there?
Some of them are dump sites that just pop up.
So that means
some of them are dump sites that just pop up. So for Smell Notice community. So like if you remember first time you drive in Smell Notice when you pass the Cali Church, There was trash all along there. We went ahead and cleared that. Not knowing they went in the back and created another huge dump site. So these are things that pop up after we noticed the too much birds around. We started investigating, and that's when we found this particular dump site.
Okay, from the dump site, how long have these birds pose a threat to the transformer that they blew up? How long?
It's the first time this incident ever occurred.
No, I know. How long have you assessed that threat? First of a threat.
Yes.
When did you notice it? How long?
Let me come into this. Normally, bird strikes are a high-risk security issue in aviation, especially with aircrafts. Right? So there is a unit established in the RIA that takes care of bird strikes, wherein we have mitigative measures every morning or at the start and end of every flight.
What I'm getting at is, now you discover where the birds were feeding from, the dump site, and you know that there was a possible threat to the transformers. So what I'm asking, how long has this been? How long have you noticed this?
So we're in an environment where we have people that own properties along the perimeter of the airport. People that will have zero control. We even experience situations where they will start to burn their own property and flare from the fire will come into our perimeter, and we'll have to deal with that. Those are issues that we have flagged to government on the people that live along the perimeter of the airport. So those issues are issues that it has to be a government or related issues to be able to solve.
So with this incident now, what is your key recommendation, or what do you intend to do? They have already caused a damage.
So we've made collective efforts in ensuring that we write the relevant authorities. We're working with the land authority now to be able to reclaim.
Which relevant authorities?
We're working with the land authority. We have reports given to us from the land authority on this issue, with clearing all people that live along our perimeter that we intend to submit to the executive for some high level of force majeure or whatever it is that we go to play. Yes, we do have, not on our person, but we do have.
So you want to do all verbal?
I can bring those things immediately we leave here. So.
The letter says you can't tell everything about this airport issue and the fire and there's no light and what caused it and what you doing, what action you taking.
Yeah, I brought up this issue because we seem to be dwelling on technical glitches or technical failures, and we left out one of the key issues that prompted the first incident of March 25. We have dump sites that are not being cleared. The birds are feeding from these dump sites, and from there the birds strike the transformer. So we need to know that it is not just technical or technical problem. It's also a management issue. How do you deal with your dump sites? At the RIA, you have to take a decision on that, along with the communities around you. So it's not just technical, it's managerial as well. Yeah. You agree on that?
Yes, we do.
Good. Yes, but for a little bit of clarity on that, the issue with dump sites are not with the airport. We have strict procedures in place for.
Why do you carry a dump site?
We have contractors, private contractors that take care of that.
And why are they carrying a tank?
You
know, it's the same place.
But we are sure that it's not within our perimeter.
Oh, but you're not sure of that. You're not sure of that.
Once they leave the fence, or you know.
Once they leave the fence, they are outside of our perimeter.
So what
so you don't care.
What a breast
But that is the part that is beyond our control that we're trying to mitigate. That's the part that is beyond our
You don't
control.
understand what the senator says, sir. It is dead in your compound. You don't know what they carry. Maybe they carry, once they leave your compound, they place the source of the bread.
Correct.
Maybe that's why they dump it in.
Correct.
So it's also managerial.
Correct.
I'm just saying, it's like we should not just put this on technical. There are small things we can do to avoid this problem.
That is noted.
Yes. Okay.
When the 26th incident occurred, what components of the RIA went out of power? What are the main components that went out of power?
So when the incident happened on the 26th, the automatic transfer switch got affected. Key components there was the voltage regulator. There's a voltage regulator in the ATS that got damaged. Relays, a couple of relays got damaged. The one that when the power guy detects it, shut down and turn the other one off, they got damaged. There were fuses, those that allow for the power to go through, they got damaged. And then the synchronizer, the panel on the frequency synchronizer, the generator synchronizer got damaged too. Those were the initial.
So as a result, the RIA building itself, the terminal went out of lights, right?
Yes, just the terminal. Yes.
Just the terminal, the whole terminal.
Yes, the whole terminal.
Okay, went out of power.
Yes.
And because I'm driving that, you said there was no threat or anything to the aircraft, did they land it safely?
Yes.
No, we'll go there. What do you think? Have you done an assessment to determine the impact of the incident?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are still doing assessment. Like as soon as the incident happened, we have the LEC team there. We have Mantrac, the local company for Caterpillar, because those machines are Caterpillar. They were working with us that night. We have another company, Sigma Group. They do our whole control system and stuff. They were on the ground with our electrical team.
So I'm not only talking about the electrical impact, the overall impact to the airport.
Yes. So what
I listened to the MD. He said that the RIA is the gateway.
Yes.
So when this incident happened, what do you think it is the impact? What impact does it have on the RIA and on the country?
Yes, this unfortunate situation had a negative, huge negative impact on the image of the country, and what operationally
who have the propensity to stop. One of the senators was saying that the government is lobbying with other airlines to come into the country, right?
Correct.
And this incident has the propensity to prevent that from happening. Is that
Yes,
right?
but yes, one thing that is worthy to note here today is that this incident uprightly overshadowed whatever work that we have been doing at the airport. It's not, the airlines wouldn't just start coming to the airport because LCA went and made negotiations. Airline will come to the airport because we have measures in place that is suitable for them to, or conducive for them to operate. Okay, quite recently, we were able to put in measures that will upgrade our fire category, which puts us in a place where we can operate Ethiopian Airlines, Turkish Airlines, and other airlines that can come to the country. Those are pluses that we made immediately when we got there. We've been on other corrective actions from our archaic audits that have been putting us in a place of good look to the public and to the airlines. We've been getting preps from airlines on our operations. Those are things that we've been doing. Documentation-wise, we've been making sure that the airport is up to task when it comes to our documentation training. We'll be conducting trainings. We have training groups coming into the airport and conducting. Those are fundamental things that we need to do for us to start looking at the bigger picture. This incident, unfortunately, overshadowed all the work that we've been doing. Even though it was unfortunate, It's something that we met with mitigative actions immediately. It's not something that will continuously happen at the airport. No, we've assumed the responsibility at the airport. We've been very responsible in certifying our airlines and our partners over the period. And this is something that the airport authority has been very committed to.
What would you say is the working relationship between RIA and the RIA management?
There's no segregation in the management of LAA and RIA. The only tricky point there is
the RIA has its own
port manager.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So we have a good working relationship. James Morva reports directly to me. We work on a day-to-day. In this incident, prior to this incident, he and I worked on the FOD project, a foreign object and debris project, wherein we are.
Why you didn't bring Jim over?
That's what I'm saying.
Why
is he not here?
He's the port manager. Why is he not here?
He is directly responsible. I mean, you have the overall.
He reports to you, right?
He reports directly to
Why is he not here?
Why is he not here? Why you bring him?
The operational issues, I believe that those issues that James Morva will be able to attend to.
The committee can investigate and tell you that there's an internal rattling there. That's why Morva is not here. And you are on oath.
Well, I have zero knowledge of any internal rattling between the management. I can speak on behalf of the management when it comes to this. Between the management and James Morva, we have a very important.
Is James part of the management?
Yes, James attends senior management meeting as always.
James, who is the port manager of RIA and the controller of RIA, are they hearing deliberate?
Yeah, it wasn't deliberate. It's just the fact. It's just the reporting process where James reports to me. I have authority over those things that he has or that he knows that I can be able to represent purely.
When James here, put you on a hold along with him.
And James will say directly as I'm saying. I can guarantee that 100%.
Mr. Chairman, I think I'll let to you for now, but I want to point out to them that besides the technical issues, equipment, all these things, there are little things we need to do to avoid all of these problems. LAC, the same question. We saw the birds, and we know from your experiences, even aircrafts, people will need to take precautions. These birds will strike at any time at that transformer. All of you needed to take some preventive measures. We didn't do that. For me, it's a major management failure. You operate dump sites near the airport. You see them, not that you don't see them. Way forward, I think it should be one of the key things you need to do. I listen to some of the things you want to do. You want to buy this, you want to do this equipment, but clean your surroundings. Get rid of the birds. I think let's do the little things we can do. Like we said, we want the airport to continue to be one of the best gateways we can have to the international world. We love to have more airlines coming in to reduce the prices of air tickets. Liberians are traveling, but we cannot do this when every time we have issues at the airport. I listened to the MD, Mr. Mesco. He's the best for 40 years. But beware of complacency. Beware of complacency. You may be the best, you still for 40 years, but maybe doing one thing over and over, complacency sets in. So please. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Gentlemen, thank you.
You know, briefly.
it to
The RIA. Besides this, please tell this committee some of the pending problems that you are not spoken about. That we don't want to leave from here after dealing with the LAC issue. Then tomorrow something happen again. Then it is managerial problem, it's administrative problems. Can you speak out? And let me give you the lead. Understand the generators you have, very good generators, but their consumption capacity very high. How are you dealing with a few issues that tomorrow there will not be shortage?
Thank you, Representative. With the generator issue, that is why when you heard my colleague say that we enough power, but still he want us and the LEC man say you need a backup for the resilient. That is why we want to put in right now for the generators, like you say, it's so high because every week with those generators we were paying 130,000, but 9,000 a week, 30,000 a week, right? 30,000, so it's 140,000 a month. With the coming in of the LEC, we started off and we were paying like 60-something thousand, 65. Now we dropped down to 50. So that is why the LEC, the national grid, is a great help to the airport. But still back up because now we're getting out of our tough time. When the rainy season, we could be good. The dry season, we're coming in, and then LEC, we have a problem. So we thinking about the alternative source of power, which is the solar. So with solar and our diesel generators, and then the national grid will be good. And but for us to be really good, like Devon mentioned, and we will not get back to this thing, we need some capital investment. Airport money to do stuff. Around the world, you have airports that in concrete. It's 320 million to do the airports. You know, so we will do everything we can. We're taking notes here. We're preparing our comprehensive listing. We're still doing assessment along with LEC so that we can ensure at the end of the day we have a cost that can put us to eternity, so to speak. Yeah.
What you are going through now, tell us your obligation at the international level with aviation-related organizations. Are we on par? We are clear with our international obligations that tomorrow you will not come back?
International obligation, like I said to you, Senator, when we got back, we re-registered. We were put into the sleeping files because when we went to the council meeting, Liberia was not mentioned until I stood up and said, "Oh, I'm here from Liberia," and then they told me that we were delinquent with our outstanding dues and all of that. So we've done that. We've been paying over time on a monthly basis, so we're back on course with our obligations. And the international community, again, like I said, they have opened their arms to us. They're assisting us right now. We have training ongoing. We're working on the roadmap, the comprehensive roadmap for the airport development. And so I think we're good. In truth, we're good. for international.
And finally, from our end, in passing to